Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today, guys, we're going to be jumping down into 5 altcoins that I think are going to perform incredibly well in the next bull run. This is going to be specific to one particular industry that I think is going to perform incredibly well. Now, as I get into today's video, if you find it useful, informative, maybe even entertaining at times, why not go ahead and subscribe? Tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what are you waiting for? Check it out. The link for that is down in the description below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. So why not go ahead and check it out? Let's waste no more time, though. Let's get right down into the desktop here and start talking about these 5 altcoins. We're going to start things off with one of my personal favorites, which is SingularityNET. Now, SingularityNET is an artificial intelligence-based project. And in fact, all 5 of these altcoins are around AI. Now, in this particular project, SingularityNET has been around for a very long time. It's got a lot of history around generating and basically producing this artificial intelligence software and technology. Now, for SingularityNET, I think the main focus here really is all about artificial general intelligence and is the centralized hub of an entire ecosystem. Now, before we get into some of the nitty-gritty of what that is, let's just review coin market cap here for SingularityNET and review what is going on. Now, we can see here that the current price is 21.62 cents. Now, it wasn't that long ago we were enjoying some really nice low prices. As you can kind of see, we had a fantastic run back up in January where we did see a peak up towards 58 cents according to coin market cap here. Now, we were doing a lot of dollar cost averaging down at these low prices at around 4.6 cents and even lower in some cases within our community. As you can kind of see, we had some real fantastic opportunities to get involved in some really decent accumulative zones for AGIX. And many of the people in our memberships and our Discord server will know the alerts that were, or at least my cheeky bot is generating and showing you good accumulation areas and maybe dollar cost averaging and things like that. Now, obviously, we're not financial advisors. We can't give financial advice. But in this particular example, we can see some very, very significant gains have been made on the back of that accumulation. Now, at the moment, at the point of recording this video, as I said, 21.6 cents. This is a little bit of a pre-record, so that may be different from the point of viewing. But this current market cap is $265 million. Now, do not understand or do not get kind of tricked by this market cap. Essentially, all it is the circulating supply multiplied by the price, right? And that gives you this market cap. Now, the market cap doesn't show you the amount of money that's gone into the project, doesn't show you the liquidity of the project. It simply just shows you this basic calculation where you get an idea that you can kind of rank things. At the moment, AGIX is ranked at 112th if you rank everything by market cap, which is quite interesting. It's also ranked by volume at number 78, which tells us there's actually a lot more volume being traded through with AGIX than the market cap is also showing you. The circulating supply sits at 1.2 billion out of a maximum supply of 2 billion. This isn't anything unusual or scary or anything like that. There was actually a proposal put forward in the latter part of 2020, early part of 2021. It was approved for the obvious reasons. They wanted to move from the Ethereum ecosystem over to the Cardano ecosystem for security reasons and so forth, and scalability and all that kind of wonderful stuff. And so far, we've seen some really good things on the back of that move from Ethereum to Cardano. So it's looking very, very good from this kind of point of view. Let's just jump on down into their website for a moment here, right? Because here on the website, you can get a better understanding as to kind of what SingularityNET is all about. And you can dive into this at your leisure. So this is SingularityNET.io. I will also link this into the description down below so that no one goes to any fake websites where you have to put in your wallet details and stuff like that. This is the official website. And in here, you can read a lot more about what their vision is, the decentralization, the beneficial AI network, the AGI development, the technology, and so much more information. Now, I won't do it justice just by trying to briefly explain to you guys how big this project is going to be in the future. We've been covering SingularityNET since 2020 in the very early days of this channel, and it should be no surprise that I'm starting to see a lot of other people talking about it as well. Let's go ahead and move on, though, into altcoin number 2, right? Because altcoin number 2 is another AI project called Hypercycle. This may not be one that you're overly familiar with. It's reasonably new. It actually did some really nice gains straight out of the gate. Now, because of our connections within the space, we did partner up with a VC firm called 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧𝗕. And we actually connected Singularity and 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧𝗕 together to basically provide some private and seed round opportunities for the cheeky community. And Hypercycle was one of those that were able to get in super early. And we've seen some really nice gains off the back of this one already. Currently at 45.76 cents, it is ranked by market cap at 3,356. I do not think it's going to stay down this low for too long. Market cap at the moment, at least reported market cap, sits at $21 million. Now, again, market cap is just your supply multiplied by your price, and you kind of have the number. It's not overly that impactful when we start thinking about it. But from a trading volume point of view, also is quite low at the moment, is interesting because we do jump 1,000 places by the rank. Right? You can see that we're 3,356 if we were to look at it from a market cap rank, but from a volume rank, we're actually 2,394. Ultimately, this is going to be one of those projects that's going to grow quite nicely. I think that SingularityNET as an ecosystem with Hypercycle, which is scaling basically AI processes on the Cardano network as a sidechain, is going to be incredibly powerful. This is something that I think we're going to see not only Cardano's AI projects using it to scale, but we might see other projects building on Cardano looking at Hypercycle for scalability as well. Now, obviously, it's built with AI in mind, but this is something that I think is going to play a pretty critical role when it comes to the future of Cardano's ecosystem and scalability as well. This is a ledgerless blockchain as well, so a lot of details kind of go into that. And again, I won't do it justice, but we'll briefly jump down to the website and start talking about some of the things that they're doing there. Ultimately, the circulating supply is at 47 million, and there is a maximum supply of 2.1 billion. Ultimately, the supply and the metrics on this one are quite nice. The distribution is also pretty decent with vesting and so forth for those early adopters such as myself and some of the cheeky community. I do think that this is going to be a really good performer in that next bull run. This is one of those projects that's going to be quite well spoken about. I think it's going to be one of those projects that's going to get a lot of attention from lots of different channels across the crypto space as well, whether that is on X, Facebook, or YouTube. I do see this one as being something that we want to be focusing in on quite a bit. So what is, Hypercycle? Well, I'm not going to do it justice if I try to talk about it, but you can see on the website here, again, linked in the description below, some more details on this one, right? So Hypercycle is building a tiny but essential component that enables AI machines to transact with other AI machines in a sub-second finality, which results in unprecedented emergence. Essentially, one of the big problems when it comes to artificial intelligence, specifically in a decentralized manner, is that computing power. And we've got a few different things, different projects here within this ecosystem that is Singularity that's actually going to basically solve a lot of those problems. And this is just one cog in that very complex machine. But this particular project, I think, is going to do incredibly well. I'll link all this in the description down below so you can get into this one in a little bit more detail. Now, that brings us over into altcoin number 3. And altcoin number 3 is a little bit different to the previous two. Yes, it's AI based, and it is also a spin-off from SingularityNET, Sophiaverse. Now, Sophiaverse is, as you know, Sophia, the robot, which is using the artificial intelligence of SingularityNET and the robotics from Hanson Robotics. You may have seen that it was doing some NFTs. It's got its little sister in a band, and so many different things going on. It's a celebrity, if you will, within the crypto space, within the NFT space, within so many different industries as well. It's got a lot of press around the world. So this particular artificial intelligence is entering into the metaverse, something that's called Sophiaverse. Now, this is a really important project that I think is going to do incredibly well as we start to see an uptick with metaverse and play-to-earn games and artificial intelligence, which will eventually be embedded. And that's really where I think Sophiaverse is really going to come into its own. Now, currently, at the point of recording this video, we're 13.97 cents, which isn't too bad, but we have seen it significantly higher than that as well. As you can see, this is a recent launch, something else that we did within our cheeky community, where we had private sales and seed rounds for Sophiaverse ahead of launch, meaning that we're able to buy it at, I think it's like 2 cents, maybe a little bit less than that. And we've seen some really significant gains to the upside on this one as well. So if you haven't already jumped into the Discord, hopefully in the last two projects that we've seen with a 78x on Hypercycle, and I don't even know how many X's with Sophiaverse. I think we're actually demonstrating that actually the utility of what we have to offer down in the Discord server for our NFT holders. So again, if you haven't checked it out, link for that is in the description below. There isn't really a good calculation on the market cap here because we do not have a good read on the circulating supply yet for Sophiaverse. Like I said, it's new. It hasn't been out very long. So this will eventually actually make a lot more sense to us. But I don't think there's actually that many tokens, 1 billion total. There's not much out in circulating supply right now. And so I do think we're going to see a very significant surge to the upside on Sophiaverse. It's going to be probably one of the more prominent out of the 5 that we have listed today in terms of AI-based projects, with the celebrity status of Sophia the robot and the potential for this to scale out into so many different metaverse games, metaverses, and ultimately for the AI to learn. Let's actually jump down to the Sophia website, right? The Sophiaverse website, decentralizing the future of AI and gaming. Okay, this is something that I'm not going to be able to kind of go into great detail on this video without kind of speaking for hours on end over this stuff. But again, linked in the description below, I'll add the website so you can look at this one at your leisure. Essentially, this is all about how the artificial intelligence is going to learn much faster than many other AI in the space. Essentially, if you were able to have artificial intelligence avatars walking around these metaverse games that you can interact with using the artificial intelligence of SingularityNET to engage in conversations, the AI is going to learn significantly faster than if it were to just have the odd interaction here and there, or to have trained from very centralized models. Essentially here, what we're talking about is a decentralization of this artificial learning model. And I think this is going to be really interesting. Now, of course, that is really just top level and really not doing it justice. Jump into the website and learn a little bit more about Sophiaverse, because I do think this one is going to be something to keep a close eye on in that next bull run, because I do think it's going to perform insanely well. Which then brings me on to something else that I think every retail investor must know about, and that is using artificial intelligence for trading purposes. And that ultimately comes to where Singularity DAO, right, this project that we've been talking about for quite some time and I've been really pro on. Now, Singularity DAO essentially does exactly what I was talking about, right? It essentially trades buckets of assets on behalf of the retail investor. You put in, let's say, USDT or Ethereum or Bitcoin or AGIX tokens, SDAO tokens, whatever it may be, into what they call a dynasset, and the artificial intelligence will trade multiple strategies going long and short on the market, and essentially will earn you a nice passive income on your tokens. So you don't have to worry about whether you're trading profitably. You can let the AI do it for you. This is a very, very powerful project and something that I think not many people are really paying that much attention to, specifically in the bear market. But I think this is going to be a really big performer in the future. Now, again, I'm not doing it justice, but let's briefly go through these top stats. Current price is at 41 cents, which I think is about where the value is. And I think we're going to see significant surge to the upside from here. I think this is undervalued, and I think there's really minimal downside at this point with maximum upside. That being said, I still expect further downside, and dollar cost averaging is always a great strategy. I just do think that actually anywhere really less than 50 cents seems to be a great deal in terms of getting the SDAO token. Current market cap's $34 million, currently ranked at 452, and the trading volumes are also down quite low at the moment. So volatility is a bit of an iffy thing. We have to kind of keep a close eye on it. And so if we take a look at this, the circulating supply is 82 million tokens. The maximum supply is 100 million tokens. Now let's wrap our heads around that, right? Previous projects that I was talking about, SingularityNET, 2 billion, Hypercycle, 2 billion, Sophiaverse, I believe it was 2 billion. 1 billion, right? And at the moment, what we're talking about for SDAO here is 100 million. The supply is significantly lower on SDAO than it is on all these other projects. And these projects, I think, are going to perform incredibly well. Now, why do I talk about supply? Well, everything price-wise comes down to just two things, supply and demand. And if we have a small supply and an increase in that demand, this price is going to absolutely explode. This, to me, is a $20, $40 token in the future, if not even better than that. This is something that I think we're going to have to pay quite close attention to, because right now we're seeing some really good moves to the downside. We've got some great accumulation zones, but something that I think is going to do even better. This is one that I have been stacking up over the months, and I will continue to probably do so, because I do see some future potential growth in this one. The project itself is incredibly interesting with huge potential to the upside, and something that I do think that all retail investors really need to dig into, because you can make your crypto work so much harder for you. Obviously, there's risks associated with it and lots of different things to kind of learn, but something that I think you're going to want to kind of dive into. If we jump into the website here, we can see if I can close that down. We can learn a little bit more about artificial intelligence powered DeFi, essentially what Singularity DAO is trying to do. I'm not going to go through all of this, but you can basically come into getting long only, perpetual, yield, index funds, so many things that you can do with the artificial intelligence using Singularity DAO. If you haven't checked it out, I strongly urge you guys to check this one out. I think it's going to do incredibly well in the future. Moving on to the final altcoin, which is a personal favorite of mine. If we go into it, it is Rejuve.ai. Now, Rejuve.ai is spun off from SingularityNET. All of these are SingularityNET based projects. However, this one is really a focus on longevity, right? How can humans live longer? Okay, and that's using artificial intelligence to help power this research, and some really interesting things that this project are covering. Now, taking a look at this, we're currently hovering on the 2.3 cent area, and maximum supply is 1 billion tokens in the same way that we saw with Sophiaverse. I do think we're going to see a significant surge to the upside. Current rank is 3,117, with the volume being rank 2,000. So we can see here that there's actually a significant disparity between its market cap and the trading volume in the last 24 hours. It's actually got better rank from trading volume than it does on market cap. And market cap, as I said earlier, isn't really a good metric for these things, so it's actually better to focus on the supply and demand elements of this one. Ultimately, I think this is going to perform incredibly well. It's not well known. It's out there on a few exchanges and things like that, such as BitGet, which is obviously my go-to platform. If you haven't signed up to BitGet, there's always links in the description of these videos. You can check that out. You can get Rejuve there. You can pretty much pick up Hypercycle, I think, on there, as well as a few others from AI-based projects of SingularityNET. Ultimately, this project, I think, is something that might or may not be of interest to you. It was a bit of a toss-up between putting this one in the number 5 spot or putting in NewNet, which maybe is a bonus one for you guys to look it up. Ultimately, the decentralized AI-powered longevity network essentially is what's going on here. At Rejuve, they care, right? Their mission is to build a decentralized network of researchers, clinics, and data contributors working together to arrive at breakthrough discoveries in the fight against aging. There's a lot of stuff to kind of dive into this one, so if you haven't already checked it out, again, all the links are in the description below. To kind of just highlight the SingularityNET ecosystem here, let me just get this one loaded up. You can kind of see the network and where the AI is really centralized in on the decentralized network that is SingularityNET. Get your head around that. The centralization of the AI across all of these projects is a decentralized SingularityNET. So it's really interesting to kind of see how this is going to kind of come together with the AI learning so much from so many different angles. Obviously, I only covered 5 videos or 5 altcoins in this particular video today, and obviously you can see there's a lot more than 5 on this map just here for SingularityNET. Ultimately though, guys, let me know what your thoughts are about these 5 projects in the comments down below. Do you think that they're going to perform incredibly well like I do, or do you think these are just going to flop? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. I'm going to leave this video right there though, guys. If you have found it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Until the next one though, guys, have a fantastic day.